The film begins with the main character, Ichiro. Although Ichiro is very old, he is still the hero of the film. He works very hard for his family. Yet his family doesn't respect him because everyone thinks it's Chiro's fault for his mediocre life. If he had worked harder, they would have been living a good life. Although Chiro had dedicated his entire life to providing a good life for his family, even building a home for them. But Ikai received no appreciation. No one called him nice, not at home, not at work, not even among his friends. And with each passing day, his self-confidence waned and he became increasingly timid. To add to all this, Chiro's health deteriorated one day and he went to the hospital to discover he had cancer. Hearing this news, Chiro is devastated and tries to contact his family. But neither his son, daughter, nor his wife answer his calls. Ikai couldn't share his grief with anyone. He was also angry that his family didn't have a moment for him. Now, even when he comes home, he considers telling them about his illness. But when no one takes any interest in him, poor Chiro leaves on his own. And then Ichiro finds a dog. In his grief, Ikai falls in love with it, and soon the dog becomes very attached to him. Ikai would feed it daily and spend time with it. The dog was becoming his family. But when Ichiro's wife found out about the dog, she warned him that if he wanted to stay in the house, he would have to leave the dog far away. Despite his reluctance, Ikai tries his best to leave the dog behind. But the dog has become too attached to him. When the dog refuses to leave him, Ikai is forced to make a decision. He decides not to go home tonight and spend time with the dog outside. He was standing outside a bar at the time, and another boy was also there, perhaps as disturbed as he was. The two of them didn't speak to each other and sat silently, when suddenly they saw a bright light coming from the sky. They looked up in surprise. There was something strange above. Such a spacecraft couldn't have been human. It didn't take long for Ikai and the boy standing next to them to realize that the ship coming from above was actually an alien ship. They were both astonished. Before they could say anything, the ship crashed on top of them, killing Chiron. The scene then cuts to a scene inside Ikai's mind. We see that many flashbacks were running through his mind, and many changes were taking place in his body. Suddenly, Ichiro's eyes open, and to his surprise, we see that Chiro was alive, and there was nothing there where the alien ship had crashed. Everything was back to normal, as if no ship had crashed there the previous night. This time, Shiro felt very confident after coming back to life, and without any fear, he even took home the dog he was afraid to take home the previous night. Once inside, he entered the house with great courage and started doing all his work. Ikai was surprised. Why was he not feeling as scared as before? This aside, Ichiro was feeling very hot now. Ichiro drank so much water that a normal human being could not drink that much. When Ichiro's heat still didn't subside after drinking so much water, he returned to his room and began taking off his clothes. Surprisingly, we saw smoke coming out of his body. This was the first time this had happened to a human being. He himself was terrified. Surprised, when he touched his hand, a button was pressed, causing his nail to break. The cut didn't bleed. Surprisingly, there was a charging port nearby. He felt something stuck in his neck. When he touched that spot, it turned out to be a button as well. Ichiro's body had completely changed. Pressing the button, his head opened like a robot's, and slowly the rest of his body began to open as well. His hands opened, becoming weapons with which he could kill anyone, and his waist opened, housing flying machines and jets. Meaning he had now become a cyborg. A combination of human and machine, and this happened to him because of the fall of that alien ship. Well, while he was watching all this in amazement, suddenly someone came into his room, and before anyone could see, his body returned to normal. Ichiro now knew that he was no longer a normal human. But he still had no idea what powers he had acquired and what he was capable of. The scene cut. We were shown the boy who was with Ichiro when the alien ship crashed. Just as Ikai's body had changed, Hiro's body had also undergone numerous changes. He was a boy with a deep understanding of technology, so he quickly grasped all these things and learned how to use these powers. Hiro observed that with his powers, he could control any electronic device, fire bullets with his hands, and much more. Here, he tells his friend everything about these powers. But when his friend doesn't believe him, he demonstrates moving a car parked in the parking lot with just a gesture. This leaves his friend deeply surprised. At this point, Min's words reveal that Hiro is mentally disturbed. He doesn't like worldly people, and he doesn't have many family members. His only family is his mother. His father left them for money. He married another woman for money, and now he's keeping their family perfect. Whenever Hiro sees them all happy, the fire of revenge for his mother burns even more within him. The world has never given him anything. In the next scene, we see Ichiro, early in the morning, preparing to leave for his office, when he sees a wounded pigeon lying on the road. Ichiro's heart melts. As he sits and looks at the pigeon somehow, but he begins to understand the pigeon's illness. When he picks up the pigeon, the machines and powers within his body suddenly heal it and it begins to fly again. It's here that Ikai realizes his new superpower. As he walks past a hospital, he hears someone crying from inside. Inside, he sees a mother crying for her child. Her son is dying, begging the doctor to please save him. Seeing the child, Ikai is overcome with pity. He reaches out and holds the child's face. He begins to understand all the child's ailments. It takes only a few seconds for Ichiro to cure the child. Seeing this, Ikai becomes overjoyed and excited, deciding to use his powers for good. But Hiro, on the other hand, has already thought about how he will use his powers. He was about to teach a lesson to everyone who had ever bothered him. With these powers, he went to school and bullied everyone, and everyone began to fear him. After this, he began to consider himself the king of the place. He decided to avenge his mother. So he went to his father's house and considered killing his family. But then, pity overtook him, and he returned without killing them. He couldn't understand why he had abandoned the people he hated so much. Baksh had come. He was filled with anger. This passion was raging within him. He was on his way home when he heard the sound of a family laughing and smiling from a nearby stop. His jealousy and anger increased even more. Without thinking, he went inside the house and shot all the family members there, just to vent his anger. Soon, news of a family murder spreads. Hiro's friend, realizing that the murder was the work of none other than Hiro, couldn't have expected such a terrible act from him. Therefore, he breaks off his friendship with Hiro. Hiro was at work. As usual, he was humiliated and returned home. At home, the same bad atmosphere prevailed. The family was fighting because their son didn't want to go to college. Their daughter was also going through a similar issue. When Kairo's wife told Kairo about the two children, the children also told Ikai about Kairo's wife, claiming that Kairo had another friend. Hearing this, Ichiro was completely shocked. They break down. They can't say anything. Exhausted, Yash tells everyone, including the heroine, that everyone has the right to live their own lives. They can live their lives however they choose. He tells his daughter, if you want to change subjects, do it. He tells his son, if you don't want to study, then go. And he tells his wife, go wherever you want, I won't stop anyone from doing anything. Everyone's problems were solved, but still, these children weren't happy. They blame Kairo for everything, saying that Kairo didn't make their lives better. That's why we're all facing these hardships today. Ichiro goes to his room and starts crying because no matter how much good he wanted to do, no matter how much he did, he never received the appreciation he deserved. As he wept, he heard someone else cry too. He was also crying heartbrokenly like them. Shiro wanted to run to him because he understood how it feels when someone is broken and has no one to support them. His urgency caused the jet machines behind him to turn on, and he flew immediately to the boy. He asked, "What's wrong?" The boy told him everything about his friend, Hiro, and how he'd been harassing everyone since he'd acquired powers. He also saw Kairo using his powers to reach this point. The boy said, "I don't know how you two got these powers. But you're probably using them for good and my friend for evil. He's become too powerful and no one can stop him. You're the only one who can stop him because your powers match." But Kairo said, "How can I? I don't know how to do anything and I don't even know what powers I possess." Hiro's friend says, "It's okay, I'll teach you all these things because Hiro told me about many things." Ichiro agrees to help the boy stop evil, and from that day on, the boy begins training Ikai. He teaches Ikai how to activate each power, how to aim correctly, how to fly, and how to use each power at what time. While he's teaching Ikai everything, something terrible happens. Ikai drinks sparkling water, which causes something to develop in his body, preventing him from using his powers properly. The boy then realizes that sparkling water could damage his cyborg body. The machine couldn't digest the water and expelled it through his hands. Meanwhile, we are shown that Prince, having discovered through CCTV footage that the killer is none other than Hiro, sets out to capture him. To save himself, Hiro uses his foreign powers and begins shooting everyone one by one with his finger, easily killing them and escaping. Hiro's reputation as a serial killer begins to gain popularity, and this leads to numerous media outlets seeking to interview his mother, causing her immense embarrassment. A short time later, Hiro learns that his mother, fed up with the world's gossip, has died, fueling the fire within him even more intensely. Now, the person who had abused his mother hacks everyone's internet devices and, using his powers, begins shooting and killing them through their devices. Gradually, this news spreads, and fear spreads among the people. Hiro knew that Hiro was doing this by hacking into everyone's electronic devices. That's why he told his family to stay away from their devices, mobile phones, computers, TVs, etc. But no one in his family ever listened to him. We are shown Hiro again, now planning to kill everyone in the world. At this point, his friend arrives, crying. She tells Hiro, "I know you're doing all this out of anger at the world, but I also know you'll get better soon. Don't do this, Hiro. Don't kill innocent people." After so long, Hiro had the first person to talk to him about something he understood. Hiro becomes emotional at this point and, looking at his friend, makes this decision. He vowed not to kill anyone from today onwards. He had made this vow, but how long he would stick to it was in the hands of the world. Just then, the police arrive and begin firing at him, hoping to kill him. The hero didn't care about himself. He wanted to save his friend, who had abandoned the world and stood by him. He pinned her down and lay on top of her, and the army men came from behind and started shooting. The hero remained unharmed, but his friend was killed. Seeing his friend's death enraged him even more. The world had taken away a companion from him, and now, driven mad by rage, he was determined to take revenge on the world. The next second, she fled. He hacked the entire city's computer screens. He even hacks advertising boards, and standing in front of them begins firing bullets from his hands, killing people one by one at a rapid pace. The entire city erupts in chaos. Everyone runs for cover, and this chaos results in numerous deaths. The few survivors who were home find this a joke. Even Ikai's children refuse to listen when Ichiro tells them to stay home. Hiro's friend approaches Ikai. He tells Cairo, "I need to send a message to everyone through your device." You must hack everyone's devices in the same way Hiro has. When Ikai obeys, he delivers a message to everyone. Hiro is orchestrating all this using his powers. He's hacking your devices and killing you. Stay away from your devices as much as possible. Following Hiro's friend's advice, people turn off their devices and throw them away, drastically reducing the death rate. The number of casualties plummets, but Hiro finds a new way to take revenge. He climbs to the top of a tall building, unleashes missiles from his body, and begins destroying them. Now they arrive at the top of this building. Ikai is ready to fight Hiro and save the world. Several army helicopters have also arrived to capture Hiro. Meanwhile, Ikai is trying to fight Ikai, but because he's old, he doesn't know how to fight. Hiro knocks them all away in a split second and attacks the helicopter in front of him, hopping to kill its pilot. But Ichiro quickly gets up and flies away, saving the pilot's life. He returns to the top of the building with the pilot and begins to fight the hero again, but the hero defeats him every time. The hero realizes that this isn't a battle of strength and body, it's now a battle of the mind. He can only fight this battle with his mind. He engages the hero in conversation and says, "I'm old. You and I both need water." Saying this, he quickly produces some spiking water and gives it to the hero. He knew that sparkling water damages his cyber-powered body, but the hero didn't know this. The hero drinks it, and here the hero thinks his mission is complete. But no, the hero's body has reached a much more advanced level, and sparkling water doesn't have much effect on him. He gets up again to destroy the world, and the hero realizes that he can't save the world like this. He now decides to sacrifice his life to save the world. So he quickly goes and hugs Hiro, turns on his rockets, and takes him to space. As Hiro goes into space, the sparkling water inside his body begins to affect him. His cyber body begins to malfunction, short-circuiting, and suddenly, with a blast, his body explodes completely. Ikai felt he had finally won. He returns to the world and goes inside a building where he knew his daughter was injured and calling out to him. Just as he was about to heal his daughter with his powers, Hiro appeared from behind. He wasn't dead that time either. His body was split into pieces, but he had reassembled it. But he had reassembled his body and was able to reassemble it. He had come to this world to take revenge on Ichiro. He sees how lovingly Ikai is trying to heal his daughter. This enraged him even more. He pulls Ikai away from his daughter, drags her by the throat, and drags her out of the building. He wanted to kill her. Seeing this, all the power, passion, and emotion within Ikai begin to grow, and a power he had never experienced before emerges within him. Using these powers, he takes his daughter from Hiro and places her in a safe place, then jumps off the same building with Hiro. He beats Hiro so badly that all his machines, his cyber body, break down and he ultimately dies. Afterward, Ichiro goes to his daughter and heals her, and finally the world begins to improve. In the movie's post-apocalyptic scene, we see Ikai with his family. Now they're happy and everyone respects Ikai. And just like that, the movie ends.